Good morning, Blackhawks fans, and welcome to VTech Talks Blackhawks Hockey. I'm your host, Kyle Savedich, and today we'll be talking about Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews' career years. We will discuss their stats, and we will discuss will they slow down anytime soon. And we will also talk about what I liked what Jeremy Colliton did with Kane and Toews on the back half of the year. Also, can they both have career years like they did this past season? And the big thing here we're going to talk about is will they end their careers where they started in Chicago? Let's jump over the boards and get into the action. Going into Kane's stats, he had 44 goals on the year, 66 assists, 110 points. Now, to right there, you think 110 points. Well, why are the Hawks not in the playoffs? That's 110 points, right? And you should be thinking, well, he should be, winning the Art Rush trophy. Well, I'll tell you one thing, Hawks defense didn't help him out this year. Kane was a one-man wrecking crew, and I'll kind of get into his MVP run in a little bit here. But that 110 points is something special. A career year, I think 105 was his next point streak, highest points that he had. But he did it not just on one line. He was all over the place. He was getting double shifted most games. He was playing an average of 20 to 22 minutes. And that's defensive time. That's defensive men time. And he's playing that time. And you may say, well, he wasn't producing at the end of the year. Well, yeah. I don't think you would be producing at the end of the year if you were playing 20 to 22 minutes, flying up and down the ice trying to score goals, carrying the team on your back. You answer me that question. Because that's what it came down to at the end of the year. He didn't have the gas to finish it out. And I don't blame him. I blame the people who weren't producing outside of that. And that will be saved time. That will be a saved time for another podcast, because that's gonna get way too much into things. But his chemistry with DeBrincat this year was amazing. I really enjoyed it. And I understand people were like, well, him and Breadman were better. Him and Panarin were better. Well, yeah, I would say that. But here's the issue that I have with that one, where I'm going to argue that point. Kane and Panarin are similar, but different. Panarin is a goal scorer, yes. He doesn't have the moves like Kane does. He's a little bit more aggressive, but his stick handling, his speed aren't quite there as Kane is. Now I'm saying, Panarin's young, but Kane would set him up a lot. When I was watching that 15-16 season, Kane was on that 26-point streak, and you just watch that. They go on the power play. The power play was really great. And you would watch how many times Kane would just pass the puck over to Panarin, and the puck would go in the back of the net. That's great. That's wonderful. That's fine. But Kane didn't get the opportunities like he was this year. Now, with DeBrincat being a young guy who was still new to the league, second year in the league, and I understand Panarin was a rookie at the time that he was in, but Panarin kind of had this chip on his shoulder that it kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and DeBrincat's just trying to soak everything in, right? He's on the line with Patrick Kane, and Patrick Kane's feeding him. He's feeding Patrick Kane. He's just watching in awe. And that's just something special to watch right there. Just watch the growth from Kane, I should say DeBrincat was the top goal scorer last year, but now Kane's back on top. And last year's a whole different story, because I just think that the Hawks were really young. I think the team was destroyed, and there's a lot of things that went into last year that just turned everything upside down. That's why they weren't even close to the playoffs last year. But I want to kind of get into Patrick Kane's 20-point streak, right? Going up to that game, Patrick Kane was scoring goals in almost every game. Going up to I think midway point in January, around that time, he played about 30 games, and there was only 7, 8 games where he didn't score a goal or at least 1 point. Now, then after the Winter Classic game where he doesn't score 1 point against Boston, he goes on this tear of 20 points, and you're thinking, wow, could he beat his personal best at 26? He's the only American-born player to reach 26 points. And Sidney Crosby only reached 25 points. I believe the highest is 33-point streak. But to him to get to that again is unbelievably crazy. The only U.S. American-born player passing Eddie Olczyk. Almost passing himself again. You know, only 6 points away. But for a team that struggled, for him to still find his groove and really go at it is a miracle. And that's where it leads me to his MVP run. If the team would have made the playoffs, hands down, MVP run. Hands down. No doubt about it. Alright, but they didn't make the playoffs, so you're going to have to give it to someone else. You still could give it to him, but are they going to give it to him? Probably not. Let's get into Toews stats here. 35 goals, 46 assists. On the faceoff dot, he was 56.33. Toews was not relevant until after Kane ended his scoring streak. But in those months where they really got hot, in the halfway through January to beginning of March, they were hot. They were on top of it. They were going at it. Power play was going. Penalty kill still sucked, but they were winning games. You know, you had a backup goalie. You had an injured reserve goalie out there. They're winning games. They're going crazy. They're coming in within points. And you have a line of Kane, Toews, and Drake Caggiula, right? I love that line. That was the best line that I could think of. Great line. Absolutely loved it. And I'm glad Jeremy Colliton put that together, but it was kind of a shame that Caggiula was out, right? But that's just one of the things that ends up happening that you still have to work with. There was no production on the other lines. But let's go into, will they slow down? Do you think they'll slow down? If you think they're going to slow down, be sure to tweet at me at IIVTechII to have your opinion on this one. Will they really slow down? I think that Toews has kind of, not saying he hit his peak and now he's plateauing. I just don't think the puzzle pieces are there. Toews has never been that guy to really produce so much, right? He hasn't been that guy. But for him to have a career year, I think he had 76 points. I think his highest was 72, something along the lines of that. But Kane, I just don't see him slowing down. Now, he may not have a good year. You know, he may not be putting up the numbers like he did this year, but this is a career year. You don't expect someone to always put up numbers like that, especially being 30 years of age, 31, getting older. But Toews will kind of just stay in the background until it comes down to crunch time. Kane will always have the spotlight. But can they have another career? You're not saying that they're going to, surpass their points or their goals or their assists, but could they have another career year? I think that if they keep the line together of Kane, Toews, and Caggiula, watch out. Watch out, because it's going to get real. It's going to be great. They're going to have a good year. I guarantee you, they're going to have a great year next year. But also with Stroman to DeBrincat, there's going to be competition there. They're going to be pushing. I'm excited for next year. But the big question is, will they finish their season with the Hawks? Kane, yes. Toews, don't quite know yet. But let me know if you think they will or not. Kane, I think so because he's still producing. They could get a better draft pick for him. But if they put a team behind him, it's gonna happen. They're gonna be fine. Toews, they all have 3 rings already. They don't want to go anywhere. I guarantee you they don't want to go anywhere. They're gonna come in as Hawks and they're gonna finish as Hawks. Simple as that. End of story. I can't wait for next year. And that's going to do it for VTech Talks Blackhawks Hockey Podcast. Next week, we're going to talk about Corey Crawford and Cam Ward, what their numbers look like, and what the Hawks should do with Cam Ward next year. Follow me on Twitter at IIVTechII for any comments, questions, or concerns, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, rest of your evening, whenever you're watching this, and hopefully catch you in next week's podcast.